Hey Magic Valley, we're here with Khristin Quigley from Unique Twist Jewelry. And
Hi.
you know, the very cool thing about this is, you know, when we started these Magic Valley Spotlight interviews, we started to get people recommending, hey, you got to talk to this Khristin lady about what she's doing. And I'm like, okay, so I look you up.
Okay.
And I start seeing this jewelry that's swearing at me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what in the world is this thing? So, first of all, tell us about what is Unique Twist Jewelry and where it started.
So it started at my dining room table, and I started making a little bit more sweet, innocent jewelry, I guess, and it just wasn't feeding my soul, for lack of a better term, and I started to put a twist on it and really just make something different that isn't just out there. There's not very many people that are, I guess, brave enough or brave, I don't know, that would put, you know, different swear words, I guess, on a piece of jewelry and rock it. And so I kind of took my gears and switched it over, and 4 years later, we're here making jewelry that's inspiring and bold and, you know, break the mold, just different, to make women feel like a badass when they're wearing it.
Right. I would say, like, you know, bold, sassy, you know, own it type of stuff,
absolutely.
Right? You know, which is super interesting because, you know, you're not sure really, because I haven't seen anything like this out there. You know, maybe
That's
there is,
good.
but, you know, when you do start something like that, is it kind of scary a little bit because you are kind of zigging while everybody else is zagging?
I'm pretty different and pretty weird, so I guess I never really thought about it, and maybe I just didn't care if people loved it, because it was more of like, I knew what it was doing for other women. Like when other women would buy something and be like, this is exactly what I want to say. Instead of, I mean, there's a lot of jewelry makers out there that make more inspirational, like sweet sayings, and that's just not me, and that they do great, and there's nothing against them, but I wanted something that I felt like empowered when I wore it and reminded me, like, and other women, to know that they're badass and they can kick this and they're strong and they can make it through whatever life is throwing at them.
So take me from your dining room table about 4 years ago to now. You have employees, you have orders just coming out of all over the place, and also some big things that are starting to help you kind of expand and grow. Like, is this what you had envisioned when you first started out at the dining room table?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This has been like a roll with the punches and learn as I go. Definitely learn as I go, because I didn't go to school for business, or I didn't, you know, you're constantly trying to please other people. And I started at my dining room table. I was featured in a couple of big magazines that kind of helped push me to know that this is what I want to do, because I had such a great outreach afterwards. I had a little Etsy shop, and you know, it was great, but it wasn't, I'm not the Etsy kind of person, and so I decided to start in a couple of stores. And my very first store was the Brass Monkey. Kinsey, you know, pushed me to know that people will like it, and it once it started selling out there, then I kind of started to reach out, and people would recommend other places for me to go to. And now I'm in over 200 stores across the country, and was hired a sales manager to, by the end of 2019, I'll be sold by 3,000 different sales reps across North America. So.
Is that just like, holy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That is so cool though. Like, so do you feel at this point that, I mean, because I think your story is super inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
But do you feel that though? Like, and if so, like, what type of advice would you give to, you know, a budding entrepreneur, or someone who maybe has an idea that maybe isn't sure, you know, whether they should follow their dream and try to pursue that thing? Or
I would, to a budding entrepreneur, not to give up. It's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's hard to like balance your family and your friendships and your business, and sometimes even still, like, I have a hard time balancing. It's very much a learning curve, and sometimes I'm on the road for 7 days a week, but then I can come home and be off for, 4 or 5 days to spend with my family. And I didn't have that flexibility working a 9 to 5, which I loved my 9 to 5, but this is, the harder I work, the more I can become, and the more I can give back, and the more I can, take care of the ladies that work for me and make a difference. I mean, I really had to find my why of why I wanted to do this, why I want it to grow, and I have to keep that near and dear to my heart, or else you get lost and you can give up. But I mean, if you have a dream, go for it, because the only thing holding you back is yourself. If you reaching out and collaborating with other women, and I do a lot of giveaways on my page, and that's not to fill my cup or anything. It's to support all the other people that have supported me along the way and have shared my work and just been there for me through the last 4 years of growth, because it's grown like gangbusters.
Absolutely. So were you always crafty, or had that sort of thing going for you, or
not at all? No, I'm not. I'm not a stylist, like a fashionista, or I'm not a do it DIYer or anything like that. So it took kind of coming back to myself and knowing what I would wear. All my metal is all my jewelry, I guess, is very raw and very not glitzy and glammy. It's more just everyday wear, or dress it up and go out on the town feeling like you're just rocking it. I've never been a crafty person, I guess, or a painter or anything like that. I never had that drive.
Well, there has to be some sort of creativity in there, right?
Yeah.
To be able to come up with an idea, visualize it at least first, and then make it into reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that
a lot of learning curves along the way.
Okay.
Yeah. I taught myself how to stamp, and then as you do it, 500 necklaces, or 100 necklaces later, you realize what people are liking and what people aren't liking, and the more swear words I put on jewelry, the more they sell. As crazy as that sounds, it's as the sassier they are, the more people love them. So and eat them up.
Definitely unique. And each piece is each piece handmade, and
yes.
And so that's also unique, right?
Yeah,
it's not like they're coming off of a factory line in China or something.
No,
right?
absolutely not. Every single letter is hand stamped with a steel stamp and a hammer. So it definitely takes time to put the pieces together. I've got the girls now that help with production of putting the charms together and cutting chain and the little steps along the way. I've got Anne that helps me with all of the shipping and all of that, because I've outgrown all of the day-to-day stuff, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
So how have you been able to kind of remove yourself from the day-to-day? Because I know that's a challenge. I know that personally, right?
It's a huge challenge.
And so that you can focus more on the big picture things and growing the business.
The biggest part of my ability to do that is the girls that I have. There is no way that I could give them the tasks that they have without trusting them and without knowing that they're fully capable of handling it and fully capable of making this. I mean, Danielle's been with me for almost 2 years. It's her baby too. It might not be as big of a baby as it is to me, but she cares for it and loves it just and that's important, to make sure that they know they're sharing it and they love it just as much as I do. There's no way I could do any of this without the girls that have worked with me.
So during this, about 4 years of a journey, what has been maybe one of the biggest challenges, and how were you able to overcome it?
The biggest challenge, I would say, is probably believing in myself that I can do it, and not keeping it in this little box of this is all I can do, or it needs to say this. Breaking those barriers, letting my guard down, and loving what I do is probably the thing that has taken me the farthest. Just knowing that people love this, and I have to know that I created this, and that's why they love it, because I put myself out there put myself, my, you know, little heart and soul into it to create something that other people love. And that was really hard for me, to be vulnerable, I guess, in the aspect of putting swear words out there, because it's not the norm, and it's not, you know, but it, you also, you'd be surprised at how many people love it. Like little grandmas love it, and teenagers love it, and moms love it. It really is like going to a show of how many ladies are just laughing at my display because of all the different snarky pieces that I have. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the part about believing yourself and overcoming that challenge, was that something that was gradual over time, or was there like a moment where you
Like a light bulb.
it was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
and what was that?
I did my very first show, I think, was probably that light bulb moment. Like, you know, you're so scared to put your stuff, yourself out there, I guess,
Right.
and especially with the jewelry that I make, is I was a little bit nervous to how it would take over, especially in like Idaho, you know, being so conservative, I guess.
A little bit, yeah.
You know, I think people are like coming out of that, and I was really conservative, but like working around other artists, and it just brings out like your vibrant colors, I guess, you know, and that show, when I realized women are loving this, they're coming up and like, come and look at this, oh my gosh, come and look at this, and buying jewelry by the handfuls, like, that was it.
You're like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
I'm onto something
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Khristin, appreciate you taking the time to chat with
Absolutely.
us. I think your
Thank
story
you.
is so interesting. Tell
Thank
everybody
you.
where they can find you.
So you can find me in Twin Falls at the Brass Monkey. You can find me online at uniquetwistjewelry.com, Facebook, Instagram, kind of all over the place. And if you're in a certain area and you want to know where we are, shoot us an email or a message, and we'll get back to you and let you know what stores are in your area.